Hi, my name is Willie,
And my name is John.
and together
We are Willie and John.
There we go.
We're going to change it every time.
I'm not
now.
sure if you've seen it, but
Every time.
we changed sides here, right? We're going to mix this up a bit.
I'm now dressing to the left,
Yeah,
which is quite
there
good.
we go.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah.
what are we talking today?
Today we're going to talk competitive socializing. It's
Big word.
pretty much on everybody's lips and on a lot of people's fingers because they're getting involved in this sector again. It's growing. We're actually seeing it grow a lot outside of the UK, outside of the US, and I think we need to talk about it because it's a unique blend.
Let's start by, in case there is people which have never heard that phrase, to kind of get into this idea of that we do talk concepts which allow you to enjoy yourself in competing with somebody else, surrounded with the classic food and beverage environments. There's food, there's beverage, there's music, there's entertainment, but you have an opportunity to compete with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Give us a couple of examples, Johnny.
Well, so let's step back and say, okay, competitive socializing. It's not new. We used to play darts. We used to play bowls, pool. In a grotty pub. I grew up in Manchester, is where I went to college. There were many, many grotty pubs. Lots of beer, lots of pool, lots of darts. The difference is that it's been polished. It's been beautifully polished. It's beautifully curated. It's superbly put together. It's a great example for me, Formula One Arcade. Oh my word. It combines two of my greatest passions in life. Motor racing, motor driving cars, and gin and tonic. Where are they now, however? In which part of the world are they now? At the moment, they're in the UK, they're in London, in the beautiful land securities development there, one new change, and they're in Birmingham.
And they're about to come to the Middle East, as far as I know, right?
Yeah, they're out looking, scouting, they're going to the US, I think they've signed in Vegas now. They're going global, and they deserve to. It's a fabulous business. Really interesting dynamic. I mean, it depends on who you hear figures from and what, but there's a pretty equal share between food and beverage and the activity, which is true for a lot of competitive socializing. It's 60-40, 50-50, 40-60 between food and drink and the competitive element of it.
So, do you think that's especially because of the times we're living in, that people are dragged more towards something where there is activity surrounded by F&B, or is it something which, as you said, is it really comparable with the ideas when we played darts and we just had a beer next to it? Or is this a different, era where what people are really looking for is some form of a far more intense competitiveness surrounded by food and beverage? Why do you think it's such
I think it's less of the competitive. I don't think it's the will to win, although we are in Germany sometimes, so there's always a bit of that. But I think it's more to do with the social lubrication, that being mildly competitive and having a drink and something to eat. That really, and let's talk about return to office. That's a massive issue out there at the moment. One of the things that we're seeing is the amount of corporate business where companies are buying these events for their teams to bring them together, to get them away from home, to get them back into the office, to spend time together. And it's a great vibe. I mean, you bowling, you win a little plastic, little trophy.
So you take home
and you maybe get a bottle of sparkling Prosecco or something. That's fine. But it's bragging rights. It's about that. It's about I won that. It's not really the super competitive, although some people can be. But I think it's more about the social interaction. COVID massively damaged lots of things, and I think we're repairing that. And I think the response from competitive socializing is a lot of that. It was around before COVID, but where it's really taken off afterwards is being able to give people places where they can come back together again.
Since we're in Germany,
we are.
You're not Austrian, not German, but nevertheless. Since we're in Germany, competitive socializing sounds a bit as a contradiction for the average German environment. And sorry to my German folks and friends, but it's not something which was always there. The after work drink was not always there. The getting together and doing, there was a kind of a Vereinsmeierei, the kind of going to this things where we save a little bit of money and whatever, but this kind of activity was not as much developed as in the Anglo-American part of the world, in my view.
Yeah.
Since you work a lot with Germany too, but you have your very British head on.
Very British. Very British head. Yeah.
How do you see this? Is there room for this in Germany?
Yeah,
is this something where people?
absolutely.
I mean, you just did Lane 7 in Berlin, right? So.
I mean, my experience. I think it's my 25th year now working in Germany, and when I came to work with ECE, there was a very clear distinction between work life and family life with a lot of the people I was working with. I mean, some of the most amazing people I worked with. Lovely people, but it took me 2 years to even get through the outer skin of their family and all those other things. Whereas in England, as you know, I mean, and I'm known for talking. We'll talk about our family within 2 minutes, and I found that quite nice. But it was very protective. I have my work life and I have my home life. I think that is changing. I think there is a softening of that, and also I think that we're learning what everybody else does around the world. We're seeing foods change around the world. We're seeing the way people behave around the world. We're seeing different meal structures around the world, all those other things. So, of course, it's going to change. There's a very traditional and there's a less traditional way of doing it. But I wouldn't want anybody to go away thinking it's a negative. I actually think sometimes separating work and home it's not a bad thing.
Could actually be something really good. That's highly recommended sometimes. That's
not
not
a
the
bad
way I like
thing.
it. So competitive socializing.
Yeah.
Lane 7, Formula 1. What other players out there?
Oh, I mean, you've got the darts guys, Flight Club. You've got Bounce, the table tennis.
Upside down.
You've got the sixes, cricket. You've got the upside down. Amazing. I interviewed Hans just recently. He's the CEO of World Leisure Concepts. The upside down. I mean, first time I heard about this, and Hans, don't shoot me for saying this, but first time I heard about this, I said, what? I mean, that's not going to last at all. An Instagrammable museum where everything's upside down. I mean, that's, if you want a short-term idea, that's it. I was so wrong. I mean, I was so wrong. Not only was I so wrong, but when I actually went, I loved it. I loved it, and I loved it on a number of levels. I loved it because it was an experience that I could do and really enjoy. And I'm a big guy, and not easy to do these things. I loved it because it was escapist. I loved it because it was a fantastic place for eventing, for corporate hospitality. And that's the real thread. I mean, that's where they will make their money. Corporate, a full buyout of the facilities in the evening, corporate event. And it's massive. You'll never have a party that.
Which I really like about these things today is the corporate element of it. So it's not just you and your wife go, you and your friends go somewhere. It's this idea that a company can say, I'm going to take my team out and find a way to... I mean, if you think of the escape rooms when they came up, right? At the beginning, it was just fun, but now more and more organizations started to say, hey, look, this could be something. This could be creating a bit of a buzz, and people will talk about it. And I really like this development because it gives a new kind of tool in your box to bring people along to whatever your mission is, away from telling them what the job is and whatever else. So I really like this new kind of environment where people can be, because you can try not to have fun. From my own experience in some of these things, you can try not to have fun, but ultimately you will end up kind of laughing.
You can't help smiling. And I think the other thing is it's redefined, it's reset the standard across the leisure industry. So, you talk about Lane 7. I mean, it's just epic. I mean, if you haven't been to Berlin, go in the UK, fine. But I'm tired of being accused of being the Englishman that says go to England to go and have a look at stuff. Go to Berlin, go to Potsdamer Platz, go to the place and go into Lane 7 there, and tell me that you didn't smile the minute you walked through the door. It's just epic, and the curation is super. The cocktails are brilliant. So you've got to be so much better on everything. You can't just change the bowling alley and put some different lights up.
No. You have
and
to
go a bit more digital. You've got to do the whole piece. You've got to have the appropriate food. You've got to have a great cocktail list. You've got to have great staff who make you laugh. and can show you how the tech works.
Yeah.
So everything's been elevated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything.
We have Topgolf in Dubai as one of these things, and when I first got, when somebody said, "Hey, let's do this," I was kind of thinking, yeah, I kind of play golf, and it's kind of it's ridiculous. I make a fool out of myself, which I did at the end, but nevertheless. But this whole idea that everyone can play, it doesn't really matter if you can or cannot do it. Everyone can play. Everyone can have a good time. Everything becomes it's so smooth. Yeah, right. It's you slide into it. You don't even there's no effort needed. You just be there, and you like the fact that you're together with your friends or your family or your colleagues. It's a really fantastic. I think it's a great thing.
That's where I think the big illusion is as well around competitive socializing, because I was told last week it's not about winning, it's about taking part. Wrong.
Of course it's about winning. Of course it's about winning.
Always about winning.
It's always about
and you know
winning.
what, that gin and tonic tastes so much better when
win.
you've won. Absolutely, when you won. And and that's where you may not go with that competitive set, but by jolly, it doesn't half build up in you.
It sits in the word competitive, right? Why would I compete? I mean, if you think of what our society is going through, right, there is more and more movement to make sure that there is no competition, and it's all about attending. It's not about winning. Well, if that would be true, the Olympics would be useless, right? If it's only about being there, at the end of the day, everyone, even the ones
I joke about it, but it's good. It's good, and the fact that it's a human interaction around a great space. I think also, we lost a bit of that. We lost a bit, and it's come back. It's fantastic, and I'm curious to see, because we're seeing so many other things happening around competitive socializing. I love the table tennis one. There was this amazing. It was a video projected table tennis table, and depending on which zone you landed in, I mean, how we've managed to elevate the tech. A dartboard that's a real dartboard, but you play games around it, and you're zoning it. And I'm just thinking to myself, who lies in bed at night thinking of this stuff? I mean, number one, have they got nothing better to do?
Yeah, apparently. Or somebody played it and said, "Hey, look, this is not that's not enough."
And then go, "Hey, let's think up another darts game." But whoever it was, thank you so much, because it's just pure genius.
Yes, it is.
And
awesome.
I even managed to play a Dutch version of shuffleboard a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And the same night, I was shooting ducks on a digital shooting range. I was playing darts. I was doing all sorts of things.
Leisure conference.
And then I went into this ginormous ball pit.
Yeah.
I've never been in a ball pit so big. And it was just like, I couldn't. You know me. I don't spend a lot of my time frowning. I laugh a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing. And the next morning I got up, I was sitting at breakfast, I was looking at the pictures, and I was just laughing, and there was this nice couple sitting next to me, and they were going, "What are you laughing at?" And they said, "I'm in the Motel 1 in Amsterdam." And I said, "I was laughing at what I did last night." And she said, "I really don't want to know." But I think that's the joy of this. It's like F&B, but a lot more.
And I think we can close this episode off by saying, there's never a bad thing about something which makes you laugh, which makes you actually kind of step out of your daily routine and have something where social competitiveness is more to do with the way how you feel better after it. So I think it's a great way.
There's one serious point to end on. One serious point. The quality of the F&B in those places has got to be top notch. And I think no longer are the days gone by where some nachos with a bit of drizzly cheese on it will suffice.
Which I think is fair to say goes for almost everything we're talking about. You cannot sneak out by doing rubbish stuff and hoping that will be enough.
Totally. So the takeout for you guys and girls is simple. If you're going to put competitive socializing in, you should tick. But make sure that the operator can deliver outstanding F&B alongside it. And then you'll be happy as. All right. Just like we are.
So we're going to close that off. Mr. John and Mr. Willie, we're wishing you a fantastic day. And hope to speak to you soon. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.